Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Cheddar's lies. Every day for thief man, one day for master. My brother, my sister, this is a common saying in West Africa. Every day for thief man, one day for master. It means every dog has its day. At the same time, there is a day when everything will come to light. Now, Cheddar is a very interesting personality. This is the guy called Cheddar. The first time we saw him in this country, it was all about wealth. It was all about riches. Then later, he had a political ambition, which he made us know. Oh yes, he called his political movement the New Force. He was the man behind that mask, the New Force. And he said this was the new Ghana, a new nation. Many of the young guys followed him because they believed that this is a young man who is coming with new ideas. They followed him. They were tired of following the old men left, right, and center. But in no time, he started to mess up. First, he told us he was going to make the sea go all the way to Kumasi in the Ashanti region, where he probably was born. And we will confirm that in a bit. My brother, my sister, and some people actually believed him. When he was asked to explain how he was going to draw the sea all the way from the capital down to Kumasi, right there in the Ashanti region. In fact, his explanations did not seem to add up. But still, people still followed him. Then there was this controversy about tigers that he brought into the country. He called them the white tigers. My brother, my sister, the authorities came down on him because people that he lived with in an area were complaining that the animals were not being bathed, so they were smelling all over the neighborhood. And they made a hell of a noise right there in the neighborhood. And when our cameras got closer to him, we realized that he had actually been very, very wicked to the animals. In fact, he declawed all the tigers and he deteeded all the tigers. So their teeth were filed off, their claws were filed off, and he fed them with what he wanted and not what the tigers wanted. We as animal rightists were not happy with Cheddar. So we decided to hit back and tell him, no, you cannot be this cruel to these animals that are kings of the jungle. You cage them in a very little prison and you feed them with what you want to feed them. Then later, he told us that he fed them with cows, in other words, beef. In the jungle, the tiger eats more than just beef. And even the kind of beef the tiger eats is different from the beef that Cheddar was feeding these animals on. The animals started to bloat up and become so fat. There was trouble as to how he navigated that. Your guess is as good as mine. Then there was also a controversy over tax evasion. The tax authorities said he was not paying tax. And I wondered, this was the man who wanted to run for elections and become president. Now we are told that he's not even paying tax. How could he be a good citizen, let alone a good president? My brother, my sister, that was when a lot of the youth backed off from Cheddar. But there was the news hovering around that the work that he said he had, he probably didn't have it. And many also said that he probably did not get whatever he had from a good source. This is Cheddar. My brother, my sister, we also heard stories about how he mistreated people who worked in his #1 Oxford Street. All these controversies came around. But we looked at him and said, you know what? He's a young man. This is the time he would make all his mistakes. He would grow. But the arrogant Cheddar will never grow from his arrogance. Then came a story that we broke here for the very first time in Ghana, that he had an issue with a certain group in the UK known as the Kola Holdings. When we broke the news, he quickly came out and responded that whatever it was not the right thing that we propagated. And he sought to tell us what exactly the problem was. We remember this clearly like yesterday. Now, it has come out again that Kola Holdings has proved us right, gone to court, and has won a judgment against our own brother, our very own Cheddar, my brother, my sister. And then they have decided to take away his luxurious #1 Oxford Street. My heart is broken, but I am happy for justice. Now let us go a little bit into the story. Listen now. Now, Kola Holdings is owned by a certain guy called Bakir Kola. Bakir Kola. This is the guy. He's an Iraqi from Iraq. If you don't remember anything about Iraq at all, you will remember Saddam Hussein. We remember in those days when Saddam Hussein was terrorizing the people of Iran. He was dropping bombs on Iran. Ayatollah was crying until Ayatollah finally died in a hospital in Baghdad. We remember when George Bush, my brother, my sister, and all the other people in America were worried about the might of this guy called Saddam Hussein. We remember the American accent that came from the White House. Saddam Hussein has got out to race Saturday to quit Kuwait in those days when he invaded Kuwait. Today, my brother, my sister, we don't want to go too much into the annals of history. But Saddam Hussein, at the end of the day, was framed by America and hanged. They said he had chemical weapons. And when they went in there, invaded the country, dropped bombs, killed a lot of people, they did not find a scintilla of a representation of a chemical weapon. America messed up, and it has become a scar on the mind of America. My brother, my sister, this is Saddam Hussein. He was killed by America. He was hanged. Now, Saddam Hussein terrorized the people of Kuwait. He terrorized the people of Iran. And in those days, Bakir Kola ran away from those areas into the UK as a Kurdish refugee. In fact, he arrived in the UK with only his pants and his shirt. But he was able to grow and do a lot of business to the point that he owned so many different luxurious hotels in the UK, including the Holiday Inn Kensington, including many more hotels in Mayfair and even more. He's worth over 250 million American dollars and beyond in investments only in his neighborhood. When he spreads wings, you would see a lot of millions of American dollars and pounds saluting him from every corner. This is Bakir Kola. Now he's growing old, so he has decided to pull his son and put him in charge of his businesses. And his son is called Azad Kola. This is the guy. This is the guy who has an issue with our own Cheddar. Oh yes, and together there is a deadlock. Bang, like that. Now let us get into action. Come here, watch this. Cheddar. Not many people would know him beyond just his political representation and his wannabe billionaire status. Can I run you a dossier? Run the dossier and watch this. Hey, his real name is Nana Kwame Bediako. He's also known as Cheddar. He's also known as Freedom Jacob Caesar. He was born on the 13th of February in 1980. He's a prominent Ghanaian real estate developer, billionaire, industrialist, and a political figure. He's the founder and chairman of the Kola Group, an influential West African real estate and property infrastructure conglomerate, known for his flamboyant fashion, exotic lifestyle, including raising pet tigers and ambitious architectural projects. He transitioned directly into mainstream politics as the leader of the New Force movement. This is Cheddar. Now, he was born and raised in Asokwa, a suburb of Kumasi in the Ashanti region of Ghana. So he wants to take the sea from Accra to his birthplace in Kumasi. You see that now? He is of mixed heritage, born to Ashanti, and of course, Bono parents. Yes, Bono. He attended the prestigious Accra Academy for his secondary education, later transitioning to Apam Senior High School. He moved to the United Kingdom for further education, studying business and town planning at Waltham Forest College in London. Later, he said education was not that important. Business is the thing. He said it time and again. He has the same mentality as Kennedy Japan. For them, there's no professor who is rich in Ghana. It's all about business. For them, it's all about money. Well, his rise to wealth, the £1 million hustle, very controversial. Listen to this. Now, Bediako often cites his youth in London as the foundation of his wealth, stating he became a self-made millionaire in British pounds by the age of 21. At that time, my father was still giving me chop money. I was just getting into the university first year, but he was already a pound millionaire. Oh yes, he began selling clothing, fashion items, and shoes out of the trunk of his Peugeot 205 GTI car to fellow college students. He expanded into the automotive scrap metal business, buying damaged cars and selling parts to scrap yards, which naturally evolved into steel industry trading. He founded Global Telecommunications and Utilities, a tech venture that he later successfully sold for hundreds of thousands of pounds, providing the ultimate seed capital for his real estate investments back home in Ghana. This is Cheddar. Upon returning to Ghana, he consolidated his ventures under the Kola Group, named in honor of his mother. Now, through Wonder World Estates, he constructed over 500 elite residential units. Listen with rapt attention. 500, including the luxury Kola residence and the iconic #1 Oxford Street Hotel in Accra, which is the subject matter of today's caboodle. He launched the 2,000-acre Petronia City initiative in the Western region to build a master planned smart city anchored by a West African industrial and petrochemical hub. He's a crazy philanthropist as well, we are told. Established the New Africa Foundation, a civil non-profit that coordinates massive food, medical, and housing relief programs for vulnerable people all over Ghana and beyond. In the early 2024, after a massive, mysterious nationwide teaser campaign featuring a marksman on hundreds of billboards, Bediako officially unmarks himself to launch the New Force movement, running as an independent presidential candidate. His platform aimed to disrupt Ghana's traditional two-party system, the MPP and the NDC, by championing industrialization, creating thousands of young entrepreneurs, and building modern film and tech hubs across Africa. People love the idea. We love the idea. Cheddar was the guy. Then he started getting controversial. It was time to deceive the Chinese into believing that we can make a certain concoction that can make them tall. It was time to send the sea all the way to Kumasi. We looked at them like Anansi tales and decided that no, we needed to step back a bit and study this guy and see if he had some aspects of fraud in his DNA. This is the guy. His name is Cheddar. Now we broke the news that he was building a certain city known as the Petronia city. Oh my God. Look at it. This is a 3D representation of his idea. He wanted to build it right here in the western region of Ghana. Yabiu, Behu, and Yabiu area right there inside. My brother, my sister, the western region. It's supposed to be a multi-thousand acres of land. And look at the idea he had. And he wanted to build it in the Texas, Houston style. Hey, look at the ideas of this young brother. This is what he wanted to do. Look at it. There would be hospitals. The road networks would be like those in Dubai, but it's Houston style. The greenery. And it will be a work, live, enjoy, entertain, and stay right here. Everything would be here. Those working here would not need to go out. My brother, my sister, this was his idea. And he was going to take advantage of the oil discovery in the area and be able to make this one here happen. Over 2,000 acres of land and beyond. He was only dedicating to a little aspect of the bigger picture, let alone all the thousands of acres he had. Look at his idea. And he put everything down. Then he approached Azad Kola. And he told him, Azad, this is the idea I have. I want us to work together with this, raise money and deal with it. Then they decided to found a certain group together. They called it the KRP1. My brother, my sister. And together, they went to the IFC, which is a certain outlet of the World Bank. And they grabbed a loan to be able to work on this. Who would see this and not want to be part of this mega plan? This Cheddar boy has a lot of ideas. Hey! Now, what is the whole idea of this beautiful city? If Cheddar had succeeded in building this, my God, you can imagine how many people will be running into this satellite city. How many tourists would make this their home. How many investments will be coming into this? That is the bigger picture. Today, some 14.9 million American dollar noose is hanging around the head of our own brother Cheddar. Can I tell you the details of this? Petronia City. Run the dossier and watch exactly what it is on paper. It is an ambitious 2,000-acre master planned smart city project under development in the western region of Ghana, situated roughly 8 kilometers from the port city of Takoradi. It was founded by the entrepreneur Nana Kwame Bediako, aka Cheddar, aka Freedom Jacob Caesar, through Wonder World Estates in partnership with British developer Azad Kola. The multi-billion-dollar project aims to plug the massive infrastructure gap that followed Ghana's 2007 commercial oil discovery. Are you listening? Now, this is the core vision. The ultimate blueprint for Petronia City is to create a self-sustaining, eco-friendly industrial platform, often described as a future Houston or Texas of Africa. Did you hear that? It is designed around a work, live, learn, and play philosophy to create and cater a lot of things in West Africa. Yes, and also to deal with the booming energy and extractive sectors. My brother, my sister, a heavy-duty manufacturing and petrochemical hub capable of housing up to 35,000 residents on a 2,000-acre land in Biehu and Yabil in the western region. Great idea. Now, there was supposed to be a direct pipeline interconnections with the state-owned Ghana Gas Network to power high-volume industrial commerce. Plans featured residential neighborhoods, office blocks, retail shopping, luxury hotels, healthcare facilities, a golf course, and a modular methanol production plant. Now, the project is structurally split into 3 implementation phases designed to roll out over a 10-year active construction window. Phase 1 will do a lot. Phase 2, that's the long-term timelines. They would work on the ground and then erect the whole building. Flip. This is Petronia City. And then the problem came. There was a dispute. Now, the partnership between British multi-millionaire hotelier Azad Kola and Ghanaian real estate mogul Nana Kwame Bediako, aka Cheddar, which initially began as a joint venture to build Petronia City, has collapsed into a bitter $14.9 million American dollar legal war, spanning courts in both the United Kingdom and Ghana. What started as a massive investment alliance under their joint company Capital 90 CNZ deteriorated over financing loans, corporate debts, and the foreclosure of luxury real estate assets. Now, the fallout centers on a major loan secured for their luxury real estate ventures, according to court filings. My brother, my sister, and this is it. They went to court in the UK, and it ended up in Ghana. And now the courts have decided that they are asking Cheddar to forfeit his number 1 Oxford Street Hotel. How many of us have seen that building before? Number 1 Oxford Street. Look at it. It is a beauty. Look at it. Oh my God. And at night, look at it. Look at it. This is crazy. And when you decide to be patient enough, you will see that car, originally owned by a footballer, my brother, my sister. And when you go in there, the beds are heavy and beautiful. The food is exquisite. Oh, the smell of the hotel, Lord God have mercy, it's like Tesoro d'Oriente in El Dorado. This is number 1 Oxford Street. It's become one of the most beautiful landmarks of Ghana, not only Accra, thanks to Cheddar. Did he use the 14.9 million loan that was meant for Petronia City to build this? What really was the problem? Today, my brother, my sister, Azad has succeeded in getting Cheddar to forfeit this. It's all over in the news. Cheddar and his companies have not been able to pay back. But Cheddar has an explanation. This is it. High Court grants police assistance order for UK-based Kola Holdings Limited through its receiver to take possession of Cheddar's number 1 Oxford Street Hotel. Bang! The hammer has landed on the table. And this hotel cannot be carried all the way to the UK. That is the good thing. It will still be in Ghana, but the ownership, as it stands right now, will change hands. What does this mean for Cheddar and his businesses? First and foremost, when we broke this news, Cheddar sought to tell the whole world that we were wrong or something like that about what really happened. Let's go into the office of Cheddar, where he addressed us, Ghanaians, and the world in English and also in Twi. He started off in Twi. Watch this.
Ghana man. Na kosi broni kra no. Aben inu be jaye nkwaso msem. Na nka me de nka me fahin na me kodi obi ka 14.9 million. Sika no. Odi ma ya na eba Ghana na abeto Bank of Ghana na abeto account. Na ifri hin. Na enti obi anso entimi anhwehwe sika kro na wo ka na chikwan. Se ifri hin na beto me ho. Na chese muti na kwa me bedi akona na abaye amaisem se medika na wana mkote nika mo hwe adwuma meye da amesisi se bi ka kro mo ken so bi kra ti kra onim se abofo abon homodi enya de a so de ka se ya wonti ntua nemom enya ne nokre enti na amama eto na mo se meka na kenya de kra nka me bie ma no wasem wemu nenso se no obi e wo company 50-50. You own this company with a foreigner. And then you both own a debt on the company. How then can one person turn this debt to become my personal debt? And after they hold every single document for the business, which is worth ×4 the debt, you have already a collateral. And you need to discuss with me because I've also paid debt here. Let's talk like business people. But how did it become Nana Kwame Bediako? Oh, it's a company. Companies owe. Ghana, countries, they owe. The Dangotes, they owe. America, they owe. But not to say that I have a debt that I'm running away from. I don't. I have not been handed any money of such. And I have proof. Media, please. How long would you keep destroying your people? I mean, the common sense is there. Where is the judgment? Where is the trace of what so-called money that you say I owe from England judgment? Sure? Mumbra. Ghana too, we have laws. We have judges. We have a judiciary system. And so you cannot own a company and then go and take a judgment against your own company without you telling them the truth that you're 50% owner of the company. Then how did you forge those indemnity documents with my signature? So it's like I have borrowed money from you. I haven't. That's the proof. I haven't. And so Kola should come and prove to Ghana that they've given me this money. If there's no proof, who sign why you forged documents say judgment debt from your London Edibabeji or Ghana? Hey, also what about the fire sassy waha? To move go that say you swear you no man in a call. Some kai say me a campaign no make a tremo say galamze no and ya dear and yet to say ye pet and a ye. There is more to it, and these are some of the things. The same company that is claiming this judgment debt, I own an oil block with them. Please, maybe some oil block with me shares one. Oh my fa. Now who can see brony yet? So who deep bini ba kokra? Who say kura? Who kura papers for the business worth over 60 million of what you're claiming, and you inflated, and yet you still want to come for me and come for every single thing I owe. There you. Yeah, yes, this will not happen in Ghana. There is law in this country. I would dictate my own history and let you remember that there was a man that came and he stood and he fought and he won. My name is Nana Kwame Bediako.
My name is Nana Kwame Bediako. I will prove to you that there was a man who came, he fought, he hustled, and he won. Unfortunately, It looks like it's going to be a long day. Now, all that is said is very interesting. And when we listen to people, we put the ear to the ground and decipher what these people are saying before they even say. Because we would have seen the chain of thought and tracked it from the beginning. We will land before they land. Now you heard what Cheddar said. All he was seeking to tell us is that he is a black man, a Ghanaian, and he has an issue with a white man. And every time the white man wants to win, he's trying to get your support for him as a black man. That's it, undoubtedly. But let us look at the other fact, whether Cheddar actually stood for the black man that he is, or he sold out the black man to the white man. He said the two of them have a business together. There was a loss after they went for a certain loan of 14.9 million American dollars. And if there was a debt, why should he alone pay for the debt? When they both, that's both parties, own 50% shares. My brother, my sister, and for that matter, he will stand firm and fight because the little that he has, this white guy wants to come and take everything away. He will not. He will teach them that the laws in Ghana work. Now, he also just fell short of telling us that, even though he said it, that the white guy, the guy he calls the white guy, the Iraqi guy, my brother, my sister, actually, in his own words, forged some documents in London to give him indemnity that whatever debt there is, this is the guy. Sometimes it works. I will invest. We own 50-50. But because this is your idea, and the idea would always come from you, when we invest the money into the thing and there's a loss, you will bear all the loss. I will make sure that we get all the loans. As to how we are going to get the loans, leave that to me. But once the loans come and they are invested, you are the mastermind. Should we fail, and should it come because of you, you would bear everything. Maybe that was what happened. I'm not too sure. Cheddar is now telling us, you is coming from the UK, trying to force me to pay some money that we both should split apart. You were here in Ghana. You took our land. You did galamsey, destroyed our land, took all the gold and left. Why did Cheddar keep all this information until the court matter came up? Did he stand for his own blackness and for the black people, the country that he wanted to be president of? You sat down, watched your business partner allegedly come, destroy our flora and fauna, take up whatever he got from it, left with all the money, and probably you sat back and said, okay, if he's done this, then I'll also deal with him. The money that was supposed to be for Petronia probably got diverted into number 1 Oxford Street. Is that the story? Cheddar is trying to tell us that he's a black man, we should support him. And as for this white guy, he's a fraudster. And 2, he's a slave master. He has come here to destroy our land. He has taken whatever he has taken and he's gone away. And Cheddar is also telling us that that money he can pay because he has worked over the years and he has done all this and he has made money. Of course, that's why we started by telling you what he claims he has. How many residential units he has built. What businesses he has. As it stands right now, they came to Ghana and the laws of Ghana are against Cheddar and his business. They have decided to give number 1 Oxford Street to this man here. Now, despite all these things we say about Cheddar, there's one thing I honestly love about him. He's doing a lot of investments in Ghana. A lot of our thieves, they steal our own money and invest that in the white man's land. That is not to say Cheddar is a thief. It is just to say that despite every little thing Cheddar is doing, wherever he's getting his money from, and he has told us that a lot of that money is coming from the white man's land, he brings everything here. He has given us one of the most famous monuments in this country. I will salute him. A lot of these dirty politicians steal our money they save in Switzerland. And the Swiss people use it to make money, to develop their own land, whilst we are here running to the IMF for the same monies that we are giving to these people to keep in their banks. Cheddar has invested a lot in this country. I am not a subscriber to nefarious activities, fraudulent activities, but I will prefer the thief who steals from us or from elsewhere and then invest that in our country, to the thief who steals from us or from elsewhere and invest that elsewhere. That is not to say I'm subscribing to thievery, but I'm only making a preference, should there be a gun on my head, to make a choice between the thief who invests here and the one who invests there. Now, anytime we walk around number 1 Oxford Street, one thing will hit our head. Petronia City, Cheddar. The story of this building will never end without Cheddar having his name pop out. They can't carry this building to the UK. They will not be wise enough to crash it down and sell the bricks unless they are terrorists. Finally, whatever Cheddar has invested in this country, yes, we hear that he has a penchant for employing foreigners. He likes foreigners. That's what we are told. Even with that, if he employs 10 foreigners, there probably would be 1 or 2 Ghanaians there, even if they have to sweep the floor. To Cheddar, watch this. My brother, there's a saying that every day for thief man, one day for master. Somebody could be successful in their thieving sprees, but one day, all their activities will come to an end. Either a bullet from the master through their skirt or through their chests, hitting the heart. I'm speaking tongue in cheek. I'm not too sure where you make your money from. Your stories are too fantastic. Until I am sure, I can't say I am sure. But I admire you for one thing, that you are brave. But I hear you look down on Ghanaians in employment. Those who employ you, talk to them anyhow. Today you want Ghanaians to support you. Me a Ghanani, like wound to me. Ghana for more you when he was busily destroying Ghana with his dirty galamsey. He didn't think about Ghana. Now that he's in the cage, he's looking for the Ghanaian to come and open that cage for him to come out like that animal that he is. We can't have sympathy on you, bro. We can't. No. A thief is a thief. It doesn't matter where they steal from. I'm not calling you a thief. But in this case, they say you will let go, number 1 Oxford Street. Are we going to hear more stories about you losing other such investments to foreigners? It looks like it's going to be a long day for my brother, Nana Kwame Bediako. It's time to humble yourself. You are very arrogant, you this guy. Extremely arrogant. Very arrogant. I don't know where that arrogance is coming from. There are people who are richer than you, smarter and wiser than you. Humble yourself, little boy. Humble yourself. Brewase. Na nyame be pejao. Uya kokoti dodo. Brewase. Nana, sewate. Brewase. Na jai kokoti no. Nyame be pagya wo. Wo nyame ahra wo dada. But hwe watch where you go and be careful. Dash.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.